The wind that evening was cruel. It howled down the narrow streets of Westbridge, a mid-sized American city known for its tall glass towers and bustling downtown, but also for the invisible struggles of those who lived in its shadows. November had rolled in with biting cold, and the sidewalks glittered with frost under the orange glow of street lamps. 15-year-old Emily Carter clutched her schoolbooks tightly against her chest as she walked home from the library. She lived in a modest neighborhood, about a mile away, and usually took the bus. But today, her bus pass had slipped out of her pocket, and she had no choice but to walk. She hurried along, her sneakers tapping against the icy pavement, her breath visible in the air. She was bundled up in her favorite blue puffer jacket, a slightly oversized but warm, one that her mom had bought her after saving up for months. As Emily turned down an alley to cut across to her street, she noticed something unusual. There, huddled against the cold bricks of a building, was a dog. Its fur was patchy, and its ribs were faintly visible. Most heartbreaking of all, it was shivering violently, curling into itself as if trying to become invisible from the world. Emily stopped. She loved animals, but she had never seen a dog look so helpless. Its eyes lifted to her, so large, brown, and filled with a desperate plea for warmth and safety. She looked around. No owner, no collar, just a forgotten creature trying to survive a bitter night. Her first thought was to keep walking. She was freezing herself, and her mom had warned her countless times not to stop in dark alleys, but something about the dog's trembling body wouldn't let her leave. She stepped closer, crouched down, and whispered softly, "Hey there, buddy, a broken bar, you cold?" The dog whimpered faintly but didn't run. It seemed too weak to move. Emily's heart broke. Without thinking twice, she pulled off her jacket and gently draped it over the dog. The warmth seemed to surprise it. The shivering slowed, and it nuzzled into the fabric as if finally able to breathe. Emily stroked its head. "I'll come back for you, okay? Just stay here." She didn't know how, but she promised herself she would. That night, Emily returned home in only her thin sweater. Her mom, Sarah Carter, scolded her the moment she walked in. "Emily, where is your jacket? It's freezing outside." Emily explained quickly, tears welling in her eyes as she described the shivering dog. Her mom sighed, torn between worry for her daughter and pride at her compassion. "You can't just give away your only winter coat, honey. Boot a broken bar. I'm proud of you for caring." Sarah posted a quick note about her daughter's act on Facebook, mostly to share with family. "My daughter gave her coat to a freezing stray dog tonight. I'm worried about her catching cold, but my heart swells with pride." She didn't expect much from it, but by morning, the post had been shared thousands of times. Local residents began commenting, "This girl has more heart than half the city. Does anyone know if the dog was rescued? We need more Emilys in the world." News outlets picked it up. Within 2 days, "The Girl and the Shivering Dog" became a headline across Westbridge. Reporters wanted interviews. Animal shelters reached out. Even the mayor's office contacted the Carters. But Emily's only concern was still the dog. On the third day, with cameras following her, Emily led volunteers and a local shelter team back to the alley. To everyone's relief, the dog was still there, still wrapped in the oversized blue jacket. The volunteers carefully carried it into a van. A vet later confirmed it was a young mixed breed, malnourished but not beyond saving. Emily cried when she heard it wagged its tail for the first time in weeks after eating a full meal. The shelter named him Blue, after the jacket that had kept him alive. Emily thought the story might end there, but it didn't. The story of Blue traveled beyond Westbridge. National news outlets picked it up. People across the country donated to the shelter. The mayor declared a new initiative called Project Blue, a citywide effort to provide shelters for stray animals during winter. Within weeks, dozens of insulated kennels were placed around the city, funded entirely by donations inspired by Emily's act. Stray dogs and cats suddenly had warm places to survive the cold. Animal adoptions skyrocketed, too. Families who had seen Emily's story decided to open their homes to abandoned pets. Blue, of course, was the first to find a forever home with Emily and her mom. The city thought the story had already reached its peak, but the most shocking part was yet to come. One day, while visiting the shelter, Emily was approached by an older man with tired eyes and a worn-out jacket. His name was Jack, a homeless veteran. He quietly told her, That doggy broken bar he used to be mine. I had to give him up months ago when I couldn't feed him anymore. I called him Buddy. I've been looking for him every day." Emily and her mom were stunned. Jack explained that Blue had been his companion for years, but after losing his job and falling on hard times, he couldn't care for him. Letting the dog go had broken his heart. The revelation touched the city even more deeply. Local organizations rallied not just to rescue animals, but to help homeless veterans like Jack. A non-profit offered him housing, and soon he was reunited with Blue, though now sharing the role with Emily's family, who insisted on co-caring for the dog. What began as a single girl taking off her jacket in the cold had grown into something no one could have imagined. A dog saved from freezing, a homeless veteran given a second chance, a city mobilized to protect its strays, and thousands inspired across the nation to perform small acts of kindness. Emily herself never considered what she did extraordinary. She often told reporters, "I just couldn't leave him there." Anyone would have done the same, but everyone knew that wasn't true. Most people would have walked by, too busy, too cold, or too afraid to stop. Emily's choice to act without expecting anything in return was what made the difference. Months later, Emily and Blue were invited to a national animal welfare event. She spoke shyly into the microphone. "Sometimes kindness isn't about big things. Sometimes it's just taking off your jacket and giving it to someone or something that needs it more. If we all do one small thing, maybe that can change the world." The crowd rose in applause. From that winter onward, every November, Westbridge celebrated Blue Day, a city tradition where people donate coats, blankets, and food for both the homeless and stray animals. Streets that once echoed with loneliness and cold were now filled with warmth, compassion, and unity. And it all started with one teenage girl, a jacket, and a shivering dog.